Howard Stern's astrology, from shock jock chaos to Capricorn maturity. Imagine a man born with stars that practically forced him to blow up every boundary with raunchy, cruel, and outrageous behavior. Then, years later, transform into someone calm, controlled, and almost wise. How does someone change that dramatically? Today on All About You Astrology, we're diving into one of the most extreme birth charts out there, Howard Stern. His oppositions scream chaos, his nodes demand growth, and his life follows the planets almost perfectly. Stick around, this one will blow your mind. Welcome to All About You Astrology. Today we explore the evolution of Howard Stern. Born January 12, 1954, at 6 p.m. in Jackson Heights, New York, tropical zodiac. His sun sits at 22 degrees Capricorn, ambitious, dry-witted, built for long-term control and grind. His moon is at 437 Taurus, stubborn, security-loving, resistant to change. Leo rising at 719 gives him natural showman energy and a craving for the spotlight. Mercury at 21 Capricorn and Venus at 18 Capricorn bunched together with the sun. Sharp tongue and calculated communication, but love and values that can feel cold or detached. But the real fireworks come from Uranus at 21 degrees Cancer, retrograde, tightly conjunct his south node in Cancer and opposing his Sun, Mercury, and Venus. That opposition to the Sun is only 1 degree orb. Mercury's opposition is basically 0 degrees. Venus is about 3 degrees. This creates massive tension, Capricorn's need for structure, control, and legacy versus Uranus's electric, rule-breaking, chaotic rebellion. Add the North Node at 24 Capricorn. His soul's mission is to move away from the emotional chaos and unpredictability of the South Node and Uranus combo and grow into disciplined, mature, responsible Capricorn energy, building something lasting instead of just exploding for attention. This isn't subtle astrology, it's extreme, and Howard lived it out loud. Let's go back to the 1990s peak shock jock Howard. This is where Uranus opposite Sun and Mercury dominated. His identity and his mind were wired for sudden, boundary-smashing disruption. He didn't just push envelopes, he shredded them. He performed crude bodily humor and sexual explicitness on air. He mocked people's weight in cruel ways right after they had major surgery. He made offensive racial and cultural jokes, including exaggerated accents during serious moments. He pushed vulnerable guests hard on painful personal topics until they broke down. In one segment, he brought on mentally disabled contestants and asked them simple questions in a mocking way while the audience laughed. He was obsessed with toilet humor and anything taboo. The FCC hit him with millions of dollars in fines, over $2.5 million total, some of the largest indecency fines in broadcasting history at the time. He even appeared at a major award show in a ridiculous superhero costume focused entirely on fart jokes, exposing himself and triggering an onstage explosion for laughs. He ran for political office on a platform full of outrageous ideas, then quit when privacy issues arose. This wasn't just entertainment, this was identity-level rebellion. With Mercury opposite Uranus at 0 orb, his brain fired off lightning-fast, no-filter comments. Uranus conjunct South Node made emotional chaos feel comfortable, like home. He thrived on the controversy, the fines, and the outrage. Fame came from flipping every social norm. But deep down, that Capricorn Sun and North Node were quietly whispering, "This path is exhausting. There has to be more." Then came the late 1990s. After 21 years of marriage, he announced his separation. It was amicable on paper, but it shattered him. He had children and felt like a total failure as a husband and father. His workaholic drive had destroyed his home life. That pain pushed him into therapy. He later said it taught him how to be a man. He realized he had been using casual encounters and shock as substitutes for real connection, childish behavior rooted in deeper issues. He started craving stability instead of constant disruption. In 2004, he announced a massive satellite radio deal worth roughly $500 million. No more government fines hanging over him, full creative freedom. This wasn't random luck. His natal Uranus tension finally cashed in, giving the rebel the ultimate platform. But the real evolution accelerated in the mid to late 2010s thanks to powerful transits hitting exactly the planets Uranus opposed in his natal chart. In 2016, Pluto began moving through Capricorn, starting to conjunct his Venus around 16 to 18 degrees. Pluto demands deep transformation, purging old values and ways of relating. At the same time, transiting Uranus and Aries was at 21 degrees in November, squaring his Sun and Mercury with a very tight orb. Sudden identity jolt. The old shock routine? It's time to change. His show started shifting. No more cheap, cruel roasts. Listeners noticed something different. By February 2018, Uranus moved past 24 to 25 Aries, creating tension near his MC. Another nudge toward reinventing his public self. Then came the big emotional trigger, June 1, 2019. Transiting Uranus at 439 Taurus hit his moon at 437 Taurus, literally 2 minutes of arc, exact. Uranus conjunct moon brings sudden emotional breakthroughs or restlessness around security and comfort. For Howard, it crystallized years of inner work. His Taurus moon wanted stability, and Uranus gave it an electric shake. Time to finally release the old chaotic comfort zone. Pluto kept rolling, conjunct his Sun in 2019, then his North Node around 2020. This is Capricorn North Node activation at its strongest. Intense, karmic pressure to mature, take responsibility, and build legacy instead of tearing things down. Uranus sparked the sudden realizations. Pluto did the slow, deep demolition and rebuild. Early Howard was pure Uranus energy, shock, rebellion, no limits, thriving on disruption and outrage. Later Howard shows the North Node Capricorn winning, structure over explosion, maturity over mayhem, discipline over chaos. Therapy provided the real-world trigger, but the transits hitting his Capricorn planets and moon made the change feel fated. His chart didn't just predict the evolution, it mapped the exact tension that made it possible. This is why extreme charts like Howard's are so powerful. They prove astrology isn't vague, it's precise. A man wired for chaos slowly and powerfully grew into the disciplined version his North Node demanded. Thanks for watching All About You Astrology. If you enjoyed this deep dive into planetary transformation, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what extreme chart should we break down next. See you in the next video.